Alright, hi guys, happy Tuesday. Santísimo Muertes Day, and yes, today is the basement day, and I will be using, working with La Santísima Muerte to rid whatever is down there, so I'm pretty confident that it'll work. So, the Baphomet statue has, it's still crying. It's dripping now down his leg to his hoof. So I honestly don't know. I am just completely obsessed now with everything haunted objects, all of it. So I found some more 7 famously haunted dolls that will ruin your life. Let's see if they do. So this gives you a lot more in-depth detail on a few of what we did yesterday, but then there's also some new stuff in here too. So, alright, now first, of course, it's the Annabelle doll. So this gives you a lot more information, and what I find is really funny, I was watching last night a bunch of Ed and Lorraine interviews on haunted objects, and even though she's Catholic, I just don't care for Catholicism, so I just kind of brush that aside. But the fact that the doll's hair is white in some photos, and some photos it is red, the Raggedy Ann doll. Are there 2? Who knows? So, okay, so we have one Annabelle, obviously. Alright, so, last summer's The Conjuring shined the spotlight on my favorite creepy couple, Ed and Lorraine Morin. This is by Chrissy Stockton. Thank you for these. These are awesome. And it gives much more detail, so. Alright, they were paranormal investigators who investigated cases like the Amityville haunting, and the case that became the haunting in Connecticut. So, and all of these were made into movies, A Haunting in Connecticut. So, I didn't know a lot of this. So, to this day, artifacts from their work are viewable at the Warrens Occult Museum. So, the crown jewel of this collection, obviously, is the Annabelle doll. Now, here's a little more history, and we have some eyewitness encounters, or testimonies. So, the Annabelle doll was given to a girl named Donna by her mother in 1970. Donna and her roommate Angie noticed that the doll would switch positions or move around the apartment when they weren't looking. Eventually they began finding messages on parchment paper like "help me." Even though they did not keep parchment paper in the apartment, they brought in a medium who concluded the doll was possessed by a ghost of a girl who was buried underneath the apartment. Haven't heard that one yet on Annabelle. So, they brought in yes. Okay, so the invents increased. Annabelle was found with a red substance coming out of her hands, moving around more, and as their friend Lou remembers, here's what Lou has to say. Lou awoke one night from a deep sleep and in panic. Once again, he had a reoccurring bad dream. Only this time, somehow, something seemed different. It was as though that he was awake but couldn't move. Sleep paralysis. This is a very common scientific explanation behind that. Alright. He looked around the room, but he couldn't discern anything out of the ordinary, and then it happened. Looking down toward his feet, he saw the doll, Annabelle. So, it began to slowly glide up his leg, moved over his chest, and then stopped. Within seconds, the doll was strangling him. Paralyzed and grasping for breath, Lou, at the point of asphyxiation, blacked out. I just don't see that happening in real life. Why can't I see that and believe that? So, Lou awoke the next morning, certain it wasn't a dream. Lou was determined to rid himself of that doll and the spirit that possessed it. Lou, however, would have one more terrifying experience with Annabelle. Preparing for a road trip the next day, Lou and Angie were reading over maps alone in her apartment. The apartment seemed eerily quiet. Suddenly, rustling sounds coming from Donna's room aroused fear that someone had possibly broken into the apartment. Lou, determined to figure out who or what it was, quietly made his way to the bedroom door. He waited for those noises to stop, therefore, before entering and turning on the light. The room was empty except for Annabelle, whom was tossed on the floor in the corner. I want to believe. Okay, so Lou scoured the room for forced entry, but nothing was out of place. But as he got close to the doll, he got the distinct impression that somebody was behind him. Spinning around, he was quick to realize that nobody else was there. Then, in flash, He found himself grabbing for his chest, doubled over, cut, and bleeding. His shirt was stained with blood, and upon opening his shirt, there on his chest what looked like to be 7 distinct claw marks, 3 vertically and 4 horizontally. All were like hot burns. So these scratches healed almost immediately. Half gone the next day, fully gone by day 2. So, alright, there's a lot more information on these supposed haunted dolls. So, to this day, Annabelle lives in the Occult Museum. Her lock case is holy water encrusted. It's actually holy church windows. So, alright, now we have a lot more on Robert the Haunted Doll. And Robert the Haunted Doll is holding what looks like a chihuahua, and that is very eerie. Alright, Robert the Doll. So Robert was given to artist Robert Eugene Otto in 1906 by an unhappy servant who practiced black magic. Through his childhood, Otto's parents had him playing with and conversing with the doll, assuming he was replying to himself in a disguised voice. He's considered one of the most haunted objects in the world. Alright, so now there's, rumors and stuff that fly around. Here we go. Alright, so according to Wikipedia, neighbors claim to have seen the doll moving from window to window when the family was out. Sometimes the doll would emit a terrifying giggle. Ooh. And the Otto family caught glimpses of it running room to room. In the night, Eugene would scream, and when his parents ran to the room, they would find furniture knocked over and Eugene in bed looking incredibly scared, telling them that Robert did it. In addition, guests claimed to have seen Robert's expression change before their eyes, and he often blinked. So, alright, now when Eugene died in 1974, the doll was left in the attic until the house was bought again. Oh. The new family included a 10-year-old girl who became Robert's new owner. So it was not long before the girl began screaming out in the night, claiming that Robert moved about the room and even attempted to attack her on multiple occasions. So more than 30 years later, she still tells interviewers that the doll was alive and wanted to kill her. That's really honestly creepy. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around this. I can't get my head wrapped around any of this. Is it real? Is this seriously real? What is going on with this Baphomet statue? It's not the paint, it's not the, what it's made out of, so we have literally tried to find every logical explanation possible. So the next steps would be to, I don't know what the next steps are. Take it to another kind of an expert to determine what is coming out of the eye, how, why, to determine, infrared cameras to see, if it's, if it's tiered or if it's warm or, I don't know, so. Alright, now we have 3, we did this yesterday, but there's a lot more here. So, the painting of a boy and his creepy doll friend. Alright, so a haunted doll doesn't even have to have a 3-dimensional object to cause terror in the life of its owner. The painting The Hands Resist Him is said to come with a terrifying history. Alright, so according to the couple, the figures in the painting moved around at night, so sometimes disappearing from the canvas entirely. The boy in the painting was said to actually enter the room where the painting hung, and everyone who viewed the painting reported feeling sick and weak. Okay. Some small children would take one look at the painting and run from the room, screaming. Adults sometimes felt like unseen hands were grabbing them, and others said that they felt a blast of hot air, as if they had opened an oven. Ooh. That's different. That's very different, very odd. Right now we have Mandy the doll. So Mandy was the doll that cries in the middle of the night and leaves windows open, so her turn-of-the-century family eventually gave her to a museum to stop the terror. Now she makes the museum staff's lunches, disappears, or walks around and frightens people with her footsteps. Wow. Ted the Haunted Clown Doll? If I can get to it. We have Ted the Haunted Clown Doll. Well, I can't get to that. I can't get to it. Okay, so, we have 6, Okiku. So, Okiku is a Japanese doll that originally had a cropped haircut, but her hair grows. Oh. Really? Alright, so the doll was originally purchased in 1918 by a 17-year-old boy named Akiki Suzuki while visiting Sapporo for a marine exhibition. He bought the doll on Tanuki Koji, Sapporo's famous shopping street, as a souvenir for his 2-year-old sister, Okiku. So the young girl loved the doll and played with it every day. But the following year she died suddenly of a cold. So the family placed the doll in the household altar and prayed to it every day in memory of Okiku. Alright, so sometime later they noticed that the hair had started to grow, so this was seen as a sign that the girl's restless spirit has taken refuge in the doll. I wonder how true that actually is. I would love to see that. I would love to experience that. Alright, so we have 7, the haunted doll you could bring into your own home for quite a bit of money. So eBay is filled with people buying and selling haunted dolls. Here are a few hundred you could bid on right now. Yes, go bid. So there are accounts of people who have bought multiple haunted dolls, trying to find one that is legitimately active. Some haunted eBay dolls have even been famous in their own right, like Harold. But if you're like me, or if you've read the Annabelle account above, you're going to let these dolls and all others stay the hell away from you. So that's different. I mean, it's very different. Alright, now I don't know what's going on with all of this, but 10 most creepy haunted objects you can visit. Yeah, that's related, so alright, we'll go into this a little bit more. Alright, the 10 creepy haunted objects you can visit at the Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum. So, alright, now it just goes on to say a little bit about them. Ed and Lorraine Warren were famous demonologists and paranormal investigators, obviously. They founded one of the oldest paranormal societies in the United States. Ooh, wow. So the New England Society for Psychic Research and investigated at the home at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, which became infamous as the Amityville Horror. So later they helped the Perrin and Hodgson families, why is this moving around on me? Which was the basis for The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. They also helped a nursing student and her roommate when their Raggedy Ann doll revealed itself to be a demon-possessed. So now known as Annabelle, the doll resides with many other oddities at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. Oh wow, so it's all blocked out. New England School of Demonology, Ed Warren, Demonologist, Witchcraft. You can't help wonder, when you watch the videos of people going in, taking tours, just the Halloween props and the lighting, I can't help wonder. That makes you think, why would you do that? It's already supposedly that haunted. Alright, so where do we go? Okay, so the museum is the oldest occult museum in the country and is open to the public during events. So here are some of the items the Warrens have collected over the years. And we have the Annabelle doll, and we have 2 girls standing in front of it, and they don't look very happy at all. I don't know, it's on Instagram, so I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. Yeah, no. Okay, so let's see. So the most famous item, obviously, in the Warrens Occult Museum is the Annabelle doll, which rests inside a glass case, ominously marked, warning, positively do not touch. I thought it was do not open. So, she was previously owned by a nursing student, Louise. Okay, so it's changed in 1970, but after some creepy incidences, she took the doll to a medium who told her it was possessed by the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. Annabelle is known to have cursed at least one death, a young man who challenged the doll. So yeah, I don't understand where they're coming with this. We just read a different story. It was not Luis, it was Donna. So I don't know. Oh, we have the Conjuring Mirror. The Conjuring Mirror. So, alright, referred to as dangerous object, the Conjuring Mirror is used in rituals to summon spirits. Because of the inability to control whether the spirits summoned are good or evil, communication through devices like this is not recommended. Alright, so, and now we have a shadow doll. Alright, so this doll is said to be able to visit you in your dreams and has the ability to stop your heart. The camera's going fuzzy. I really honestly don't know if that's even true. I don't think any kind of doll has that kind of capabilities at all. Okay, now we have a satanic idol. I guess, I don't know, it looks like Baphomet, but it's not. So this was found in the Connecticut woods. Alright, now the vampire's coffin. Alright, so the Warrens are said to have found this object used by a modern-day vampire. Huh. These masks were used as topa for diabolical projection. Now we have child tombstones. So these were used for satanic altars, which I really don't think they were. I doubt it. We have an organ. Oh, it's funny how they have to, they prop everything in the rooms, with those lights and all the Halloween stuff, and we have a skeleton thing playing with the Ouija board. Alright, so it's not that creepy until you know that it plays by itself. Alright, that's weird. A brick from Borley Rector? This is considered the most haunted house in England. Okay, human skulls. Collected from satanic practices. Ooh. That's not cool. That's really, really odd. Yeah, so that's very odd. Okay, so let's see. I'm not 100% sure here. This is just, I watched so much last night on all these dolls, and this just, it doesn't make much sense. Alright, so here's a little more about it, about that museum, and I'm very curious about that. So, if you've seen the Hollywood horror films The Conjuring or Annabelle, then you're probably aware of Ed and Lorraine Warren. But I'm willing to bet that some, if not most, are genuinely unfamiliar with their work and past. So, this person says, I've been fortunate enough to have met Lorraine Warren a few times. I actually went with her and some neighbors to see The Conjuring when it was released. That's pretty cool, because my boyfriend's friend, we'll call him Jake for the sake of privacy, lives next door to Lorraine. So yes, he lives next door to the Museum of the Occult. This video shows a tour of the museum. The quality is bad, but they tell an interesting story about the Annabelle doll. Alright, so I would love to visit this museum. I really would. So, alright, now it just goes on a little bit about them and their past. So Ed and Lorraine Warren have dedicated their lives to this work, and they share the wisdom they have gained during their extraordinary career in this field. So the work they perform is remarkable, and you can be certain after all this time they know things that are completely astounding. So the cases they divulge will shock you, yet it is significant, the significance of what they say that will actually floor you. Moreover, the Warrens don't mince words. They know what they're talking about, they have seen it, they have done it. The Warrens reveal both the methods and the motives behind spirit activity. Indeed, they reveal what really breaks the peace in haunted houses, and precisely what it means to you both now and forever. See, this house is, it's haunted, but nothing bad happens. Nothing really bad happens except for the basement, which is today. So that's going to definitely have checking my new growth. I was going to say I better not have any new growth now. Alright, so I'm on with this. Ed Warren is a demonologist. Lorraine Warren is a trance medium. Ooh. Aww. And her interviews, I mean, she's just so sweet. As a very old woman. But Ed, his pictures, they just creep me out. They are the creepiest. He gives me that vibe that I wouldn't talk to him. He looks like he would beat the hell out of somebody. He's scary looking. I'm sorry wherever you are, but you are. Don't, come around. Alright, so she was a trance medium, so that's good. Okay, but you'd never know it if you met them on the street. So they are not occultists. They are not strange. Okay, they are essentially ordinary people who happen to do a highly extraordinary work. And although, why does this keep moving around? The Warrens have no axe to grind. Their orientation is distinctly religious. So in reality, this is the only way it is possible to function in this work. Because that which they confront are not vaporous, instinct phantoms that simply come and go in the night. The forces they confront are religious entities that, by their own admission, now notice, by their own admission, exist for the sheer purpose of opposing the works of God. I don't know. I'm very curious, but I'm very skeptical of them to an extent. Lorraine, with her Ouija session, it was just completely different. That opened my eyes a lot to her, to how she worked. And yeah, but Ed, I don't know about him. So this just is weird. So Ed passed away a few years ago, and Lorraine lives in the house with the Catholic priest and her pet rooster, Einstein. Oh, yeah, there's nothing odd about having a pet rooster. Or having a Catholic priest live with you. So I personally have not toured the museum and probably never will. I am not the strongest believer, but I'd rather not interfere with things that I don't understand. I can tell you, however, that the Annabelle depicted in The Conjuring and Annabelle looks nothing like the real Annabelle doll. Shocking, huh? Yeah. So, alright, this goes on to say, I've had the pleasure of meeting Lorraine a few times, though I don't know her, as well as my boyfriend and Jake, during this summer when we would hang out on this... See, it keeps moving. Summer when we would hang out on Jake's back deck, Lorraine would stop by to say hi, and always offer us pizza or brownies. Aww. Stupid fly. Oh, that's sweet. That really is sweet. So it's true that Lorraine is nothing like you'd expect. She's somewhat grandmotherly with a badass style. Yes, that is what I picked up from her. She's got that grandma, loving, just, I mean, you just want to hug. You want to sit down, you want to just put your arm around her, and you just want to hug her. And now I want to make brownies with her, but she's gone, so I can't, so shit. Alright, so, okay, so yeah, badass style. She was always wearing earrings that I'm envious of. I remember one encounter that truly proved her charm. Jake and this person says, and my boyfriend were skating in the street, and I was sitting on the front stoop drinking tea. Lorraine saw us and made her way over to say hi and offer us some food. That is sweet. Fucking fly, get away. So it says, we talked for a while, and she told us about the work she was doing for Yale. So at some point, Lorraine took notice of this person's boyfriend's old dirty bastard shirt. She looked at it thoughtfully. Old dirty bastard, she said. Her eyes glazed over with distant rememberings. She smiled at us and quipped, I knew one of those once. That's kind of funny. So she winked and we all laughed. So we explained, old dirty bastard was and why my boyfriend was wearing the shirt. She then offered to buy us a pizza. We declined, as we always do. Why? I'll never know. I would have let her buy me a pizza. Maybe we thought it was polite, but looking back, I think she wanted some company. Aw, she probably did. I mean, imagine all of the, paranormal, the sincere people that wanted to actually just talk to her and get to know her and just, have a cup of tea or coffee with her. That's sweet. So, this also goes on to say, I also regret not getting to pick her brain, but not necessarily. about the occult, but about her life. Maybe the next time I'm out there. And sadly, she's gone. Alright, so it says the last time I saw Lorraine, she was surrounded by loving friends, family, and neighbors. We all went to see The Conjuring together. It was fun, and Lorraine herself has a cameo in the film. A true superstar, that woman. She does too. Conjuring 2. When Ed and Lorraine are talking about the infestation, oppression, and then possession, whatever order it goes in. But she's so cute looking. She's cuter the older she got. So, if you live on the East Coast, Lorraine presents filmed exorcism in the CT area around Halloween. So you can follow the events here. Alright, so around Halloween. So I would be thinking that would be like a money thing. So whoever was bitching about me doing readings and spiritual work for people for a monetary, nobody does anything for free. You're not gonna get your plumbing plumbed for free. So you're not gonna get your cavities filled for free. So there's always a price. So too bad she is gone. So there's so much about her in the Conjuring thing. I don't know. The Conjuring universe is a pretty creepy, real backlife story. So, I mean, it's amazing. All of this. I mean, it really is. And the woman who plays Lorraine in the Conjuring movies is, I mean, just, you get that vibe from her. She is amazing. Alright, so it says here, I've always been fascinated by Ed and Lorraine Warren, the real-life paranormal investigators who portrayed in the Conjuring movies. But many people believe that they are gifters whose research is a hoax, especially when it comes to the Amityville haunting. Wow, this is weird. This is doing all kinds of weird stuff. Especially when it comes to the Amityville haunting. The ideas they talk about aren't as far-fetched as you may first seem. Many people throughout the world believe in the concept of spiritual warfare. So the idea that if God and the angels are real, the devil and demons are real as well. So, battle. Including priests and theologians who have seen the phenomena firsthand. Alright, so this person says, in college, I had a close friend who I trust 100% tell me the story of his brush with a demonic entity, which was followed by my own experience. And I have been interested in the subject ever since. So this past weekend, it says, I picked up the, what is considered to be the definitive book about Ed and Lorraine Warren, the demonologist. Immediately as I flipped the first page, Vera Farmiga's blurb. Oh, she plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies. Vera, I like that name. So, who plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies? Blurbed filled me with a sense of dread as I realized she wouldn't even let the book be in her home. So she says, primarily my research relied heavily on the non-fiction book, The Demonologist. So it's unlike any book I have ever read. It's a book about mystical theology. In it, one learns just how and why mystical phenomena occur. It scared the daylights out of me, profoundly. So the preface insists that it is not dangerous to read, and that knowledge is power. Whatever. She says I felt a sense of terror every time I cracked it open. I never read the book in its entirety. I could only read it in a flight. Funny enough, somehow I felt safeguarded in an airplane. She says, it just goes on. So if I did some research, searching to see if Vera had said something else about the book, and found out that she had some supernatural experiences of her own. So here she describes what happened when she started seriously considering the role of Lorraine Warren. That's interesting. I mean, those two, the guy that plays Ed. Now if Ed really was like that, ooh. But he's in, what is it? What movie is he in? Is he in Insidious? I don't remember. He's in another movie though. Okay, she goes on to say, so the strangest occurrence for me personally, this is on Vera, from the Conjuring movie, for me personally, on the first one, was the day I had a creative conversation with James Vaughn, the one that comes up with all these movies. He's a genius. So I wish, I had just been researching Lorraine. I wasn't familiar with her, and so before our phone call, I was on the computer and I had closed it. We had our conversation. At that point, I was just smitten with James. I said, if Patrick Wilson is in, that's who plays Ed, Patrick Wilson. And because I knew at the time he had also been offered a role, then I'm in, she said. Oh yeah, girl, you get it. Alright, so, because I knew at the time he had also been offered the, okay, yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that Patrick was going to be my partner, so we agreed. And then we said goodbye. I opened the computer screen, and there were 3 digital claw marks from the upper right diagonal to the lower left on her computer. Months later, when filming for the movie wrapped up, Vera had an even creepier experience. So she says here, it wasn't incredibly painful. It might have felt like a bruise. It was these 3 very distinct, what looked like claw marks that long nails or long fingertips, like thin fingertips, could make. But it didn't hurt, and I texted to James, and I can't even remember his response. Wow. So, Joey King, the actor who played one of the parent children in The Conjuring, was also afflicted with mysterious bruises on her body during the filming. So I haven't read anyone who actually says these injuries were caused by demonic activity, but it is creepy and fun to read about. Alright, so that's pretty much it for them. I mean, I don't know what else to... I mean, it's just, there's so much out there, there's so much trying to debunk them, there's so much trying to debunk all of these statues that cry, all of these haunted objects. I don't know, it's just very odd. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty interesting to see that happen, or to read that. So yeah, it's just very different, very odd, but I gained a lot more respect for Ed and Lorraine, except for Ed. I mean, I don't know him, so I can't judge him. But just something about him is very creepy. It creeped me out, it made me feel very uneasy seeing his real picture. Lorraine, no. And I'm sure there was nothing normal about them back when they were alive, when they first started. I mean, come on. Look at all the, people trying to debunk them. But I'm just very curious. I'm very curious as to what's going to happen next. It just keeps tearing up. So, I don't know. I'm just going to keep offering Baphomet candles, whatever. And then today I plan on, doing the basement with La Santísima Muerte, just kind of blessing it for protection. I've talked to a few friends that want me to do it live. I don't know if I should. Maybe I should, so if something happens, or, you can see something that I didn't, the camera will pick it up, or the microphone. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand why this statue is crying. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna do a Ouija session about it. So I don't know, Halloween's coming, so we'll see. I mean, come on. So, but alright guys. Yeah, I had to share some of that with you guys, so. But it's a very sweet cannabis smell along with flowers. So, and that Baphomet's flower is cannabis, so I don't know. I'm lost. I'm at a loss for this, so. Nothing bad's happening. Everything good. Everything is going really good, so it can't be a bad thing. So, I don't know. But, alright guys, I've talked enough. So I love you all, and thank you guys for watching. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, who would you take that to next after you've eliminated every single possible logical explanation? Who would you take that to? I mean, do we have people like Ed and Lorraine now that are that serious, or I mean that devoted to their work and don't care about the other person's, you know, faith or religion or practices? I don't know. So, but alright guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and if there are people like that, what would you do next after, you know, canceling out all of the logical reasons why that thing would be doing what it's doing. So, fly. I don't know. So anyways, all my love. All the way from Venus. All the way back down. And I will see you all tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday. So, I love you all, and thank you guys for watching.